So, however, if evidence is in support of is one thing, you might be saying, but I need proof.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, proof can be this tricky term that our authors point to.
Proof.
So, what is proof? How do we define proof?
2 plus 2 is 4. There's proof.
Sure, yes. A circle has no edges, or, as no corners.
Triangle is a 3-sided object,
Yeah.
right? Let's go prove that.
And so we can do that same thing for history. Well, I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning, let alone, prove to you with that level of confidence that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Yeah. It's different types of proof, and we get in this especially with things like economics. There's a whole big divide between Keynesian economics and Austrian economics, where Keynesian wants to plug in all these different variables because you can essentially make a number for every human rational choice within up and down the line and sideways, micro, macro. But Austrian economics says you can't do this. This isn't like physics. You can't, say I want to make a house and you plug in the equation and boom, there's the house. Yeah. No, it's people making choices with so many different changing variables that you have to talk about it in terms of these kind of basic ideas and structures of praxeology, humans making decisions. So you can't codify that in that level. And so here, proof you can't do as evidence is it's not 100% to be shown. Things in history happen, but okay, how do you know that? Right. We say, there's video evidence that you can do, or photocopies. Well, all those can be fake too, right?
Yeah,
especially these days. If aliens landed on the White House lawn, how many of us would go, oh, this is like War of the Worlds radio show, the CNN's fake news, all that stuff. How do we do it today in things that happen in real time? And how many people, don't have any understanding before 1950, before the photocopier, before all this. How do we know Abraham Lincoln was alive? Well, he's on our money.
That's right.
Well, okay, but have you ever seen him? Have you ever? We have portraits. A lot of people understand that to be the case. Well, we don't have that type of evidence.
Proof.
All the time.
Yeah.
So we don't prove the results or prove the Bible. What can be shown is that trust in Scripture is reasonable, and an argument that makes sense can be made. And so. We come from it from a presuppositional point of view, and so the confidence level is of a different way. But if you're talking about historical events and proving historical events, then that's a little different as far as what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a different kind of, right. So, again, with regard to the past, one can't, empirically prove a historical event in the same way that one can prove like what we have, the illustrations we were using with mathematical equations.
Right. And it's so easy to be a skeptic in that way because you just say, oh, well, it doesn't ring true to me. Or, George Washington survived. Well, the apostles didn't exist in the same way. It just America started somewhere along the way and people bought into this fiction. It's like Uncle Sam. George Washington is like Uncle Sam. We just kind of dreamt him up as propaganda. We're all just feeding into it. And he's a good idea, but that's all he is an idea. We knew that there were other presidents at the time that were all trying to vie for power. You do that. The skeptics have done that the same way with Jesus.
Yeah, right. And so, historical evidence can point strongly in one direction, but we don't get this mathematical conception of proof, right? Historical truths are tested by assessing hypotheses in view of the evidence, and then accepting the hypothesis that best explains the evidence, right? That's how we do it. It's inference to the best evidence. That's the kind of argument that we use. Thus, while historical proof is different from mathematical proof, historical evidence can be compelling and it can inspire confidence.